Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you're all doing well and welcome to today's live. I'm the Urban Seer, your guide to love, destiny and manifesting the life you desire. I hope you've all had a good weekend, and we can start the week off today by checking in with Spirit. But before we dive in, some of you may already noticed the new structure of how I'm going to be reading. So to be considered for a reading, please submit your name as usual, your lamp number, but also your question, so via the pinned comment. And I'm now going to read for those that I'm drawn to, and the more detail and context that you can give, the deeper and more meaningful your reading can be. Still the same that I don't read on yes, no, timeline or general questions, and I don't cover pregnancy, health or legal matters. So I'm hoping that this will create a more sacred space, that the process will be smoother, but let me know what you think. Thanks, Ruthie. I'm glad that you mentioned, you like the setup, and that these sessions will be even more spiritually led. Thanks, Ruthie. Like you say, you like the new format. So let's get into it, and I'm going to attempt to post the questions on screen as well as we go. So just wait for your name to be called as usual, but there'll be no list. It'll just be wait until your name's called if I'm drawn to read for you. So Geeta, I did want to mention that if you didn't submit your question, so in order to be considered for a reading, you would need to submit your question. So if you want to go ahead and do that, and anyone new here. But let's get into it. I'm using the Muse Tarot deck. Namira, I'm glad that you like it also. So first I was going to read for Veni, if Veni is here. So I'm just going to do a shout out for Veni. If not, then we'll keep things moving, and I'll just move on to the next person who I'm drawn to. How has everyone's weekend been? Let me know. How is everyone's? Ruthie, I'm sorry to hear that you are not well, so well wishes to you. I don't think Veni is here, so I'm just going to skip and I'm going to move on. Hey Alvin, hey Josephine. So, the idea is just to keep things moving here, as always. So Namira, I can see that if you're here, if you just want to give me a high five and confirm that you're ready for your reading, and then we'll get to it. And there's Namira's question. So Namira, this is for you. Namira asks, yesterday I had a quarrel with my neighbour after asking again to lower the noise. Sorry to hear that, Namira. She had a talk with the landlord and it's still going on. What is going to bring solution, because the other neighbour also complained? Okay, so let's have a look particularly on that section where you see what will bring solution. That's what we want to know. So Spirit, please show us the way for a solution to this issue. Knight of Materials. So progress is being made, but sometimes the Knight of Pentacles is slow progress. Okay, so it's a bit like what comes to mind, the expression, Namira, is water on stone. Knight of Materials is earth energy, so it's about being consistent. It's about being patient, which I know that you already have been, and I'm not saying that you are being impatient or anything of the other, but it's just spirit advising us what energy we need to bring and what is actually happening beneath the surface and energetically with this situation. And it is moving forward, it is progressing in the right direction. Sometimes with the night materials, it can feel like it's so slow that we're not seeing any progress at all, which is maybe how you feel, that we're just circling, you know, we're just going around in circles. Things have escalated, you've already asked her to get a grip on the noise, nothing's changed. All that you can do is, I believe, keep going, doing things by the book, Namira. Keep making, if you can, maybe make a diary if you haven't already, to record the noise, to record the interactions. Make a diary of this as your evidence log. And to keep, I would say, go through the landlord, go through the person who really has the power in this situation. I'm going to pull one more. So it's a reassuring energy to say that things are on the way to change in Namira. It's a hopeful card. We just need to hang on and hang in. We need to go through the official processes. Here we are, the Hanged Man, which is feeling stuck, feeling it is an uncomfortable position. We do have to wait for there's only so much that we can control. So that's also something to consider and sort of take in on yourself. We can only keep our side of the street clean, and then, which you are doing. How that manifests is making a log of what's happened, reporting it to the landlord, contacting them every day if you need to, Namira, to say, you know, this is an urgent matter. It's happened again today. It's still happening. You know, what action are you going to take? Do you know your rights within this situation? Is there any third parties that you can also reach out to who can support you? Official bodies, you know? The Hanged Man is that stuck feeling, and all really is about, it's almost like we just really need to wait for things to shift circumstantially. There's not much else more than you can do than what you are. I feel like you're doing everything that you can. The only other thing, so there we go. So you've reported it to the landlord, you've made an official report to them. This is, you're doing everything that you can, Namira. I asked what would kind of release this situation. The Six of Emotions, sometimes it can be, strangely, it's kind of a nostalgic, almost sad card. You know, it's an emotional card. And there's this push-pull at the minute. And really, I feel like one of, you know, either they have to go or you have to go, ultimately, in the end, yeah? You need to see this out to see, you know, if this landlord is going to do anything about it. But ultimately, if the landlord proves to be ineffective, then maybe you need to reclaim and regain your power, Namira. Maybe the only last choice that you'll end at. I don't think we're there yet, but looking at other options of where you can live. But that's like a final destination kind of energy, yeah? I don't believe that we're here yet. I feel like we need to see this out, and it's still hopeful that change can happen. I'll leave it there. Okay, so I'll move on now. Yeah, so for anyone who would like to be considered for a reading, there is no list now. Things have changed. I'm just reading for those people that I'm drawn to. And I will call your name as usual. But there's no list. Just going to see how this works for us. I'm hoping that things will flow more and be more spirit led. Let me know how you feel about it. So Sruthi, my love, I'll read for you next. Just give me a shout out that you are ready for your reading and we'll get into it. You're welcome, Namira. Thanks, Ruthie. So if you look at the form for the details of the changes that I've made for anyone who's just joining us, and you can also go over to the community page for the changes in how I'm reading. Okay, so Sruthi, my love, this is for you. Sruthi asks, I need some spiritual guidance regarding the novel that I'm currently writing. It is gaining some views and I'm happy. Awesome. I'm really pleased for you, Sruthi. So what I want to know is what energy attracts readers to my story? That's a great question. And is there anything in my field blocking them? Great question. So what I want to know is what energy attracts readers to my story? Oh, isn't that interesting? That came out, that was strange, that came out down anyway. So, this is inspiration, 5 of inspiration, wands, fire, Sruthi, which is interesting. Oh, that's beautiful, Shruti says. I only started writing again because of your reading, Seer. Beautiful. I'm so glad that you felt inspired to return to this. So 5 of inspiration, wand, fire is a creative energy, is all about creative projects and what inspires us. And it's like your creativity, your inner fire, resonates and relates to others, to your readers. Now, particularly with this card, what's interesting is what first came through was there's lots of different perspectives. 5 of inspiration is like full of movement, full of change. If you see all these mirrors here, it's like different reflections. So I don't know if you work with different characters, it can be how you build the characters that people are drawn to, or the way that you look at things. You're able to look at things from many different perspectives and different outlooks, and you keep things moving as well. So that's also something that they like the 5 inspiration is the opposite of boring. It's movement, it's change, it's excitement. It even can be a bit of conflict as well. So just remind me, is it fiction that you write, Sruthi? Do you deal with characters? It's a novel, so I'm assuming that it's that means fiction based, yeah. So it's there's a little bit of tension maybe even in your writing as well, which people are drawn to. So movement, change, excitement, sort of friction between characters, different perspectives. Let's the second half of your question. Is there anything in your energy field blocking more viewers coming in? Let's see. Fiction, romance, lots of characters. So I hope that resonated with you regarding the different viewpoints, the different characters, the sort of tension and excitement that is in your reading. There we go, tension between them. Let's have a look if there's anything that we can add to this. Oh, lovely. 9 of materials. Maybe it's just like how work and money and reality can, you know, this, it always gets in the, it always gets in the way of everyone's dreams. Money and reality. But 9 of materials is about financial independence. So it's just about, I know that you've got this career that is this is where your heart lies, yeah, in the writing. And in a way, this is, many of us have to walk that line. It's hard of the career that pays the bills until we can do it full time, what we truly love, yeah. But remembering, I suppose, a kind of perspective, maybe a reframe, is that your job, your day-to-day job that pays the bills and brings in money, is supporting this dream. Sometimes it can get imbalanced and maybe get in the way, but understand that it is bringing you security, financial independence. I feel like this will continue to build and grow really as well on its own trajectory. But sometimes, no doubt, yeah, that it gets in the way and it pulls your energy away from this. So it's just about trying to balance that, protect your energy so that you can. It's a really admirable sort of feat to not only work like this, but also to keep working on your creative dreams. It's a lot to do, yeah, it's a lot to take on. So to reframe it as best you can into that it's supporting your dreams rather than taking away from them at the moment, yeah? So it's all trying to walk that line. But like I say, it's admirable to push on with these creative projects, because a lot of people give up because the 9 to 5, the job that pays the bills, you know, takes so much from us. But I'll leave it there. I hope that resonated. Hey, to anyone new joining the chat, if you'd like to be considered for a reading, just click the pinned comment. There's a link. It'll ask you for your name, like number, and your question. I'm just going to go over now and pull up the next reading. The link should be open, Geeta. So next up, I'll read for Josephine, if you want to give me a shout out that you're here. So Veni, I called your name, but there was no answer, so I did have to skip. So if you want to catch us again on Friday. I'm hoping that Josephine is here. If you can give me a shout out that you are ready for your reading, Josephine. Like I say, there's some changes being made, so there's no list. Just wait for your name to be called. But I'm just reading now who I'm drawn to, and you submit your question prior to the live, during the live. So just because you're on the list doesn't mean that you get a guaranteed reading, if that makes sense. I'm just reading who I'm drawn to. Hope that makes sense. So there's no order, there's no list anymore. Just go to the community page if you want the details of the changes that have been made. I know there's a bit of confusion because this is the first time that we're doing it. Right, so Josephine, this is for you. Josephine says, things with Brandon have been really difficult. We don't see eye to eye on things. He was the one who said that he loved me and wants to marry me. Okay, so he's made these promises. I don't see that happening now. What's going to happen between us? Will things get better soon? Guidance on what I should do. So just Josephine, confirm, are we in contact? Like, are we in a relationship? This is good to include when we are writing your question as well, guys. So just if you are submitting a question, are you together? Are you in a relationship? Are we in contact? Are we in no contact? Give me your current status. What's going to happen between us? Will things get better soon? Let's start there. Okay. So this is forward momentum. This is encouraging if you still, you know, are looking, which I imagine you are, for things to progress. I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into this, but 8 of inspiration, as we can see here, this is fast moving energy. This is movement. This is progression. You're in no contact right now. So this looks to be future energies. Things will be switched up. Tell me about him now. Oh, there we go. So Page of Emotions, there is still love here. There is still, look at this beautiful shining heart, glowing heart. Now, Page of Cups is, pages have that kind of contemplation energy when they are ruminating, when they'll be thinking about you. So you are still on their mind. They still feel love towards you, connection towards you. Let's have a look about this block, if there is a block. Like, why haven't we seen this 8 of inspiration forward movement as yet? 6 of voices, we are transitioning. I don't know what caused with the 6 of swords is like it can make things, what it basically described as kind of choppy waters, a difficult period. But we are transitioning into a calmer period. So really all this reading, Josephine, is, oh, so he's ignoring you after telling me that he received a message from some guy who was maybe speaking badly about you. I would think this will blow over. The feelings are still there. We are transitioning behind the scenes. We are moving into calmer waters. Once we transition into these calmer waters, look at this connection. It's still there. It's still strong. Then we can get forward momentum, move this connection forward in the direction that it needs to go in. So don't just wait this out, Josephine, okay? The energy is still there. The feelings are still there. This is a very positive, encouraging reading that things will move forward in the right direction. If you still want this, if you're still open to this, it may not feel it right now, but you are moving in the right direction. I'll leave it there. Okay, next up, I'm going to read for Tia Bia. If you are here, please just give me a shout that you're ready for your reading, and then I'll post your question at the top here. Hopefully I'll get a bit quicker at this as time goes on. Hey Tia, this is for you, my love. Tia says, I would like to know what Spirit wants me to know about my love life. I'm trying to break the cycle of people taking me for granted. Deep question here, big question, which I think maybe many of us can relate to, yeah? Thank you, Geeta, for moderating. You're welcome, Josephine. Okay, Tia, my love, let's get into it. What does Spirit want you to know about your love life? Just for anyone who is waiting for a reading as well, I'll be here till 4 o'clock. Just to give you, that's 4 p.m. GMT time, so another hour essentially I'll be here reading. So keep submitting your questions if you would like to be considered for a reading. Five of Voices. Interesting. Five of Voices, okay, is, do we have, so Tia, is part of what's going on, are we avoidant about conflict? Are we fearful of conflict? Five of Voices is kind of a card of arguments, disagreements, and conflict. But sometimes, voices talk about speaking our truth, and voices, the suit, or this is swords in the traditional deck, is about, all the swords energy is about kind of having to say those difficult things, but those necessary things, which are what we really think, and not being too careful or too fearful about really other people's feelings or losing someone or hurting someone, because it's not about being nasty, but it's about speaking your truth. And sometimes, you know, it can, many of us are sort of kind of conditioned to be agreeable, to like not cause a fuss, to go along with what other people may want, and because we're scared as well of losing people, of maybe losing someone, or of causing some kind of disagreement, argument, upsetting them. Take what resonates, or all of the above. So let me know, Tia. Anything else, Spirit, for Tia? Emperor. Interesting. The Emperor, I think it's about embodying your inner Emperor. The Emperor is kind of more of the same if it's a major arcana, but the Emperor doesn't shy away from speaking their mind and is really very much in control of their own destiny. And I think this is the kind of energy where you need to shift into, so the relationship isn't just happening to you, if this makes sense, and maybe you're at the mercy of what the other person is doing, like how they feel, what they want. The Emperor is very much in control. The Emperor is the boss of the deck. So this is you. She's the boss. You're the boss. You're in control. You're really writing the script. Again, all about tapping into your own power tier. And you already have this, okay? You already have this. You probably maybe if you can imagine in other areas of your life where you find it easier to embody your Emperor energy, try to tap into that same part of you and bring that out in small ways, in big ways, whatever feels possible in your relationship. But it feels like it's about, really communicating your truth, speaking your mind, and also asking for what you want. It's okay to ask for what you want. And if you can't ask for what you want and be heard, then that's a red flag of the relationship. Yeah, if you can't speak your mind or have arguments or have conflicts and survive them in a relationship, then that's a red flag. Okay, I'll leave it there. Whew, okay. Let's keep it moving. So yeah, anyone who's coming new to this, there is no list anymore. I'm reading who I'm drawn to. So if you've submitted a question on the form, it's all you need to do. I'll call your name if I'm drawn to read for you. But there's no guarantee of a reading just by submitting the form. Bear with me. And I'll be here till 4 p.m. GMT time, just so you know, for so next up I have My Style Motivation. If you are here, give me a shout out. We're just going to see how this works. Feel free to leave feedback after the live is finished on the post or in the community post. See how this works for everyone. I'm hoping it just to be more spirit-led, peaceful place. It may take us a few goes to get used to the new format. Hey, My Style, thank you. So spirit-led readings, Danny. Spirit-led readings, not random. And this is a rose quartz. This is one of my favourite crystals. My Style. I'm glad you like it, My Style. Okay, so My Style's question is, can you check into my energy and see how do I currently measure my value? And how can that shift? Deep question, yeah? I have really low self-worth issues. Love and light to you, My Style. I'm sorry that you feel that. I have really low self-worth issues and I always second guess myself. I know we've touched on this in the past, yeah? I want 2026 to be the year I start liking myself. That is a beautiful goal. Growing up hearing I'm ugly and not as pretty as my sister has affected me. That's terrible. That should never be said. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that. No wonder that your self-esteem is affected. Let's see what Spirit has to say. How can my style shift, Spirit? They want to resolve their self-worth issues. Gonna pull one more. Okay. So first I want to ask the question if there's anyone in your energy field who maybe still resides, who is still sort of reinforcing this low self-worth. I know we can't always get away from those people, like if it's a family member and that you have to still see them and be with them, and that can be very triggering. But if there's a way to maybe create more space, maybe create more distance, I just feel that this Six of Swords, it's like the sharp edge of the sword where, you know, words can be cruel, and that harsh words that were said to you is now sort of internalized and been, that voice is in you. Yeah, we all have that kind of cruel voice that speaks negatively to ourselves. Six of Voices is about like recognizing it and understanding it is a huge part of being able to change this. And the Six of Voices is about moving from tumultuous waters, choppy waters, chaos even, and moving towards peace. And I do see you as a bit of being maybe feeling alone a lot of the time, and maybe that you have to go on your own journey. Your mum, okay. Thank you, Seer, for taking my question, my mum. So I don't know how old you are, you know, I don't know your situation, or even if you can create more emotional protection and distance from her, kind of maybe devalue even what she has to say. I hear go your own path. And what comes next is the Three of Materials, you see, of people who can actually help you, and, you know, real friends, real connections. Look at this strong bond that actually can be teamwork and work together towards the same goal. I don't know about you, but I always sometimes, you know, people who have hurt us and trigger us, there's always this kind of pressure to try and like work it out. But sometimes, you know, there is no working it out, and we just have to create as much distance and lean into people and allow people into our life who actually support us and lift us up and are reinforce that kind voice. So there's something about the people in your life, and I suppose releasing people who don't lift you up. It sounds simple, but it's, you know, it's a journey to really get to that place. You do feel lonely, yeah. One final message and then I'll move on. I'll catch up with the chat as well. Oh, Ace of Voices. So again, communication, speaking out more, a little bit on what we touched on even with Tia Beer again about, which was kind of about protecting your energy, and it was about speaking out and speaking your truth. Voices is about communication. We have this wise owl. So if you can challenge where appropriate to kind of speak out about your truth, your needs, your wants, the more you do this, the easier it will become. And try not to get into the weeds with people, if that makes sense. Like, try to, with difficult people, it's best to keep it short, to keep it simple, and speak in facts and actions, and try to avoid having kind of open, emotional, vulnerable conversations really when it's not safe. I'll leave it there, but I hope that resonated. Okay. I'm just going to catch up in the chat. So, hey Kaiser, no, I'm not taking donations or super chats at the moment, but thank you. It's just if you want to be considered for a reading, I just read who I'm spiritually drawn to. Just click the link in the pinned comment. Don't be stalking me. If you want to change your question, just submit another question. Just click the link again. That's fine. I'm glad that resonated, my style. Okay, let's move on. Alvin, are you here, my dear? Give me a shout out, Alvin, if you are here and ready for your question. Oh. Hey, Alvin, awesome. So Alvin asks, what does Spirit want me to know about how my dad is processing my mum's recent passing? Another deep question. So thank you, Alvin, for sharing that with us. Let's see what Spirit's guidance is. What does Spirit, what do you want Alvin to know about how Alvin's dad is processing Alvin's mum's recent passing? So, you know, a beautiful message came through when I saw this, the Chariot, and I felt like this was your mom, and that she is still guiding him, no matter kind of what your beliefs, obviously, once someone has passed. But I believe that their energy continues and goes on. We don't know where exactly. But this feels like this very strong, powerful magnetic pull of, like, there's a lot of energy. Your mum's energy is still very present. Probably with you too, maybe, Alvin. Maybe you can feel it, if you feel it or you don't, but it's there for you, your brother, for your dad. And the Chariot is about being pulled forward to keep going, to keep moving through life. and that your mum is almost energetically still moving forward. She is still almost changing and evolving and moving through time and space and influencing your dad and you and your brother. And I don't know if your dad is open to tapping into that. Some people are more open than others, you know, about being able to feel that, and you can consciously open up to that energy as well, to receive and to tap into your mum's energy, however you want to frame that. But this feels very much like her energy that has come through today. I'm going to ask one more, just specifically to kind of to bring it back to your dad, and if there's anything else that Spirit wants us to know about how, maybe about how he's processing it now, any changes that could help, or I'm sure he's doing everything that he can. Ace of Voices, so voices, again, swords, communication. How open is your dad to talking, really? Because we've got the Wise Owl here, and the Ace of Voices is like there's has to be almost like what feels like a new way of communicating now. And this can obviously be very a painful thing to talk and to communicate. So if you can let me know if your dad is, where are they at when it comes to talking about this? Obviously it can take time to communicate, but it feels like, with it being an Ace of Voices, that it's always about getting clarity, and how we get clarity is through talking, is through communicating. So we know where, so they know where you're at, so you know where they're at. It just feels like Spirit's saying, you know, that this is important, and this has to be a new way that you're having to find how to communicate and talk about this to each other, because it's such a huge thing. It's such a big thing to try and process. It's very painful. So I'll leave that there. I don't know. Alvin says, no, he isn't wearing me out. I like making space for his sharing. So I didn't say that he was wearing you out. I don't think. Just go back and read that message, Alvin. I didn't. It was more that I was worried about if he wasn't able to talk about it. You know, a lot of people find it difficult to communicate. So, Ace of Voices. Like I say, it's about keeping communication lines open. That's how you'll help each other through this. And obviously, like I touched on, like I discussed, this is your mum's energy that's come through, that is also very present, and that they can maybe tap into communicating with your mum as well, like actually hearing that guidance and her energy, and how that might come through in dreams, in visions, in many different ways of what people experience. New communication from your mum coming directly through as well, and being open to that. Okay, I'll leave it there. No problem, Alvin. Go back, rewatch it if you want, just to get those details of what I said. But I hope that resonated. Okay, moving on. So next, Danny baby, my love, if you are here, please just say hi. I am ready for my reading. Hey, Danny, baby. Okay. Thanks, Geeta, for moderating. And just a quick update, because this is new format of how I'm doing things. You just submit your question now via the form. I'm just reading for those that I'm drawn to. So it's not a guaranteed reading by submitting your question, but obviously stay open to any messages as well. If you don't get read for today, some of these messages still may resonate for you, so stay open, yeah? So Danny says, I almost lost S, the Pisces. I found that I couldn't trust him, and I worry that he won't be man enough for me. I'm being too hard on him. He has potential. Can you tell me what his energy is towards me? Yeah. Well, nothing to worry about here on his side, Danny. The star, it's very pure energy. It's a card of hope. It's a wish upon the star. This is their energy towards you, yeah? Can you tell me what his energy is towards me? This star energy. Doesn't matter that it's gender-wise here. It's just the image that we're looking at. The star card, we can see here, this card is full of hope. This card, they still hold this vision, this desire, this hope, this wish to be with you, to make this work, to make this happen. This is very important to them, okay? It's a major arcana. This runs deep in them, okay? So I don't know how they're manifesting their energy towards you now, if they're upset about, if you feel like you almost lost them. And I'm not saying that, you know, those fears that you have, that you couldn't trust him and that you worried you won't be man enough for me. I'm not saying that that's necessary and invalid for you to have those fears. But it sounds like maybe you feel that you're too hard on them. You have been. But they are locked in, engaged, want to make this happen, yeah? So I don't think there's anything for you to worry about, Danny. This couldn't be more reassuring omen. Because it's a major arcana, it just has a very pure, simple, powerful message. So I think I'm just going to leave it there so we don't need to kind of muddy the waters. That is spirit just coming through saying, look how into this they still are. They want this. It's a wish, yeah, that they hold very close to their heart. He has that go with the flow energy, yeah. It can be tricky to stay with that kind of energy, yeah. You say you'd like to be in that as well, yeah. Yeah, well, from one control freak to another, I relate to you. It is good sometimes if we have someone who can loosen us up a bit. You're welcome, Danny. Okay. Let me just go back to this list. Kaiser Domingo, are you here? Give me a shout out. And I'll read for you next. Just getting your question up here about your Pisces. Hopefully you're still here. Kaiser Domingo, I probably should have asked before posting the question. Give me a shout out if you are here. If not, I'll switch it out. Thank you, Anshuman. Okay, maybe Kaiser is not here. Geeta, I know that you're here, so I'll read for you next, my love. I'm just going to post your question. So Geeta asks, what's going on between me and Prem? I recently said goodbye to him, darling. Okay. I'm sorry about that, Geeta. Let's have a look at what's going on between you and Prem. Okay, Kaiser, no worries. I'll read for you after Geeta. Country, hang on as well. I'll read for you after Kaiser. Let's have a look at Geeta. What's going on between me and Prem? Ace of Materials. This is a new beginning of sorts. Tell me more, Spirit. Okay. So in doing saying goodbye, Geeta, so I feel like you took a risk and you walked away from what was no longer emotionally fulfilling, or I don't know what prompted you saying goodbye, but the Fool is someone who is ready to take a risk, go on an adventure, move forward. Is ultimately the Fool is someone who is ready for change and is ready for a new beginning, which also aligns with this Ace of Materials, which is a new beginning. And Materials is earth energy, so it's something that offers security, something that is real, something that is grounded. So what I would say is in walking away or in saying goodbye to him, it will either shake things up and make them realize that they need to come up with something more real and instigate this new beginning between you and this connection. Or if they're not able to step up and stand up, you saying this goodbye will open up a new beginning for you. Like, you know that you want more, that you need more. You're in this full energy here of new beginnings and adventure, and you did the right thing. I feel like His Spirit is encouraging you, is backing you on this. I know that you've been giving more than what you've been getting back in this connection, and it was time for a shift. Exactly, you want security, you want stability. You are and in saying goodbye, I feel like you made that clear. So Spirit is backing that. And you've really launched yourself into a new beginning, Geeta. So let's see how in time, as this unfolds, as this manifests, Maybe it will be in a new connection. Maybe it will be in it will shift the dynamic and create a fresh start in this existing one. But these are both very positive cards, new beginnings and fresh starts. And I think you were brave in taking that risk and speaking out and asking for more. So I'll leave that there. I hope that resonated. Okay, Kaiser, just give me a shout out that you're here now before I post your question. Just waiting for the heads up from Kaiser before I post. Hey, Jazz. Hey, Ari. So there's no list today, Ari. I'm just reading for who I'm drawn to today. So by submitting a reading, by submitting a question, there's no guarantee of reading. I'm just reading who I'm spiritually drawn to, okay? Right, I think Kaiser's gone, so we'll move on to country, okay? I just need to keep things moving, so we'll move on. Catch us on Friday, Kaiser, if you can make it. Oh, Kaiser's there. Ah, Kaiser, Kaiser, Kaiser. Where has the question gone now? Damn, there we go. Okay, here we go. Country after Kaiser. There's a delay in this chat, so it could be annoying at times, the delay. Okay, Kaiser, what does Erica, Pisces, truly want out of this connection, and what are her true current thoughts and feelings for me? Scorpio. Pisces and Scorpio. A deep feeling connection with all that water. Let's have a look at what Erica is feeling and what she wants. Her feelings. And what does she want out of this connection? Ooh. She is feeling all the feelings. Ace of Emotions. Emotions in the traditional deck is Cups. So we are talking love, romance. Look at this deep dive here. Now it is an ace, so I don't know how long this connection has been going on. If it's relatively new, Ace of Emotions is still kind of, it says beginning stages, but it's a deep dive. And it's about Ace of Emotions as well, is that feeling that there is a lot of potential here, okay? It could go the distance. It could, that's what they are hoping, that's what they are desiring, that's what they are wanting. It's triggered a deep emotional response. You could even read it that they are falling for you. I don't know if you've spoken, you know, that I love you, if you've spoken that as yet, but we can see here, you know, a picture speaks 1,000 words here. Second half of the question, Well, that was her true current feeling. Sorry, this is what does she want out of the connection? Knight of Voices. I think she'd like to have more communication from you. Maybe you can voice how you are thinking, feeling. Maybe she is someone who needs to hear your thoughts and feelings on the situation, what you want out of this connection. This Knight of Voices energy is like someone kind of rushing in. We see this winged horse, yeah, this beautiful, I love this card. It's so bright, it's so positive, but it's very clear and very direct. Someone who is forthcoming, someone who goes after what they want without fear of rejection, maybe in some ways, really, you know, isn't scared to share what's on their mind and what they want and their truth. Voices is all about speaking your truth and your communication. So Kaiser, I don't know if you are feeling this, you know, if you are also matching this kind of emotional Ace of Emotions energy. But what Erica would like to hear this and would like to know that from you, and would like you to share that if you do. So maybe you need to come forward a bit more. I don't know if you are holding back. Scorpios sometimes can, you know, be secretive and keep things to themselves, and not really share what's going on with others. It can be their default. So just be mindful of that. Hope that resonated. Okay, country, country, country. This is for you, my dear. I like that we're talking about potato salads in the chat. Okay, country, my love, this is for you. Kaiser says, yes, it did resonate, love. Good, good, good. Thank you, love, for the wonderful readings. Really appreciate it. You're welcome, Kaiser. Thank you for messaging. Country asks, what should I learn from my current dating challenges to better align me with my forever partner? Another great question. So country, let me know that you are ready for your reading and we'll get into it. What should I learn from my current dating challenges to better align with my forever partner? Lots of voices today, lots of swords. Page of Voices is... I always think of this card, this particular card in this deck. Like this is you, country, yeah? And your head's kind of spinning with a lot of thoughts. Like there is a lot of overthinking, dare I say, a lot of thinking and so much thinking that we tip into overthinking, yeah? So what your current challenge is, I believe, like what should I learn from my current dating challenges, is there's a kind of like refinement process happening here about what you do want and what you don't want, and getting very clear in your mind and in your and therefore this is going to come out in your communications and your actions, about how to move forward. The page is when we're gathering information. You see how this woman here looks very kind of serious and very studious. She's got these glasses on where it's like we're watching closely. So we are learning. We're learning a lot. And what we're learning is, you know, that's a good thing about if we're in a situation that we don't like, is that you're learning. It kind of pushes you and clarifies to really define what you do want and what you don't want. And you know, if you're manifesting, if anyone who is a regular manifester, you've probably created one of those pages where it's like the what I want and what I don't want kind of lists. And this almost feels like the physical embodiment of that. So it's refining this process for you, country. You are learning exactly what you want out of a connection and exactly what you don't want. As long as you're, you know, really taking that information in. One more, please, Spirit, for country. Muse of inspiration. And I feel like this is kind of maybe what you're finding out is of who you want is the Muse of inspiration. So in the traditional deck is actually the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is someone who is very expressive, is very passionate, is fiery, is pretty heated, really, sort of brings the heat. And they're not someone who is passive to the situation, okay? They kind of really go after what they want. They also have a maturity about them because they're a king or a muse in this deck. So they are established. They know what they want. They know who they are. And there's kind of like depicted here, there is a clear path ahead. They're ambitious, they're fiery, they're passionate. Maybe this resonates about for you, country, about who you want. It can also be about tapping into that side of you as well, and maybe realizing that about yourself, that you're more feisty and fiery and passionate than maybe what you once thought you were. More dynamic, you know, more expressive, and going after what you want. I hope that resonates. In kind of getting what we don't want, we do the silver lining is that it refines and clarifies what we do want. Country says, yes, I've been learning and growing. I can now spot what I don't want a mile away. In the first chat, I can say no and disconnect from that person. Awesome. Okay, so last couple of readings now. Jazz, my love, are you here? I'll just check before I post actually. Jazz, my love, if you are here, just give us a shout. If not, I'll just move on. Maybe Jazz has left. Bear with me. Diamond Girl, I don't think that your question came through. Just so you know, there's nothing here on the form. Jamie Stars, are you here? Jamie Stars? So I don't know if Diamond Girl wanted a reading today, but you're not on the list, just to let you know. Nothing came through. Jamie Stars, are you here? Anne, are you still here? Oh, Jamie Stars, almost awesome even. So Jamie Stars, and then I'll read for Anne, if you are still here. Catch us on Friday, Diamond, because I don't think I'm going to have time to read for you today. So just catch us on Friday. But yeah, there was nothing on the list. Hey Anne, I'll read for you after Diamond Girl, my love. Okay, Jamie Stars, just getting your question up here. Bear with me. Okay. So Jamie Stars asks, what is Albuquerque intentions for a relationship with me? We are friends. He went back to live at his ex's. No problem. Thank you for updating your question. Let's have a look at Albuquerque's. Am I saying that right? I hope so. Albuquerque. Intentions for a relationship with you. Page your inspiration. So Jamie Stars, there is a lot of passion here, okay? So with inspiration, this is wands, this is ruled by fire. There's kind of an explosive energy here about this. So you may feel a very strong physical pull, a magnetic pull between you. All this card, you know, all the energy in this card is so bright, so vibrant, so colourful. So I'm going to pull another card just to dig deeper on this, but you may have, I mean, they've gone back. I know that they've gone back to their ex. So basically what I want to see if there's any kind of substance here, if there's any longevity here, which is what we want, yeah? At the minute, what I'm seeing with this energy is that there's a lot of attraction, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of magnetism, but that can be, you know, sometimes the fire can burn out, yeah, like a flame that burns bright and then goes out. So let me pull another one. What about longevity, Spirit? What about, there is passion here, we see. Well, this is this triangle that you're in, okay, Jamie Stars. This is literally the embodiment with the three of emotions, is like this message of a third party situation, yeah? So really at this stage, what I would say is, Jamie Stars, that this is, you know, to ask your question if you want to be in this situation as it is right now, okay? Because it is a third party situation, and that looks to be what's happening right now. I'm not saying that things can't change further down the line, but this is a current energy reading. There is a lot of passion, there is a lot of attraction, like you say, it's crazy, but there is no change of like this at the minute, you know, of it changing. It will still continue to be this other person still be involved. This triangle, the situation of three. So obviously a lot of pain and angst can come from that, Jamie Stars, okay? And what I would say is that you do need to protect your energy, Jamie Stars, within this, okay? Their intentions, Albuquerque's intentions, to me right now, seem to want to continue this three-party situation. So my advice to you really is to distance yourself from this, really, because it will only probably bring pain and some chaos. Right now, they don't, if they're involved with someone else, if there's children involved, then it doesn't look to be like what you need, yeah? Someone who is focused on you, someone who is loyal to you, someone who is committed to you only. And right now, this just looks like quite chaotic. And even though there is a lot of passion there and feelings there, there isn't the security and really kind of commitment here that is needed to allow this connection to progress. So let me know, Jamie Stars, I know that's probably maybe not what you're wanting to hear, but we must read the cards and be honest, be truthful. And this is where this person is at, yeah? This is what they're available for, and they aren't available to be committed, you know, solely to you. They will walk this third party line for as long as they can. So I'll leave it there. Protect your energy, Jamie Stars, okay? Protect your energy. Okay, Anne, my love, last but not least, I'll read for Anne. Just going to grab your question. Just let me know that you're still here, Anne, before actually I just post your question. You're welcome, Jamie. Thanks, Anne. Okay. Hey, Samreen. I'm just doing Anne's reading now, which will be the last reading for today. Please do catch us on Friday, though, Samreen, if you can. Oh, there we go. So Anne asks, what is unfolding with the stuck energy I'm currently experiencing across all areas of my life, and how might it begin to soften? Is that? Make sure I've got the right question up here. Yeah. So Anne, yes, what is unfolding with this stuck energy? Let's have a look. Across all areas of my life. So frustrating. How might it begin to soften? I like that word. How might it begin to soften? First of all, let's pull one on. That isn't your question, Anne. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's because there's two Annes. That's why. I thought I'd seen your other question. Bear with me, I've got it here. It's because there's two Annes. Is Anne Franklin still here? I'll read for Anne Franklin as well, if you are. I'll read for other Anne first. So yeah, anyone who missed, just before I read for Anne, anyone who missed who didn't receive a reading today, I'll confirm the time of the Friday. So on the community tab, I'll always open the list and confirm the time on Thursday. So just check it out then. Keep your notifications on so you'll be notified. It will probably, just so you know, be around 12 p.m. GMT time. So hopefully that you can make it there. Okay, Anne, this is for you. Anne Franklin, let me know if you are here. And I'll read for you. Right. Let's have a look at your crush, Anne. It was brief, but our eyes... I saw my crush on Saturday. It was brief, but our eyes met, and in that moment, so much went unspoken. If I see him again this Friday, I wonder what kind of energy will be there between us. Let's have a look. So Three of Emotions, there is light and shadow in this card. Obviously, it's all card. And I feel like this, for you, Anne, is... The Three of Emotions is a very social, like the light side of it is very social. It's very light-hearted. It's like, I feel like this is your energy as well, and to try and kind of portray that maybe when you're in social situations, if you can keep it light, if you can keep it friendly, maybe having an opportunity to communicate, you know, or at least kind of in your body language and how you move through the space socially to emit that kind of energy, to give off those vibes of fun, approachable, social. I almost feel like it's like we sort of need to create some kind of friendship here first. You know, that kind of chatting, light-hearted. It needs to be kept light and fun. And maybe you're beginning to feel those energetic shifts. Thank you, Geeta, for moderating. Ooh, and then Anne, how beautiful. Ace of Emotions. The beginnings of love, of romance here. So this potential, this is a really nice card to see, Anne. Just what you would like, you know, with your crush. It's like the beginnings of love, the beginnings of a romantic connection, and making headway with that. So we transition, we start here from this more cups, more emotions, Three of Emotions, this social, light-hearted, warm energy. And then we build on that, and we can begin the connections and the fresh starts and the new beginnings of this journey in love, the Ace of Emotions. So what really both very wonderful cards here, and with a crush, kind of just what you'd like to see, really. That fun, flirtatious energy, and then it transitioning really into something real and something deeper and something that has a lot of potential. Ace is always about real potential, yeah, that has the potential to go the distance, to become a 10 of emotions, emotional fulfillment. So beautiful. Hold that energy, claim that energy, Anne, okay? Claim that energy. Okay, I don't think Anne Franklin is here, so I'll yes, wonderful, Anne. I'm glad that resonated. So I'll end the live today here, guys. Thank you all so much for joining today's live. For those that received a reading, I hope the messages you received brought you some clarity, peace, and some inspiration for the days ahead. Remember to take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and always trust your own inner guidance. And I'll be back for our next live on Friday. Like I say, the list opens and the time will be confirmed on Thursday. So click on your notifications so that you'll be notified of when that list opens. But looking forward to seeing you then. Until then, be kind to yourselves, keep centering your energy, and stay open to guidance around you. Sending you all so much love and light. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, Geeta, for moderating as always. That is deeply appreciated. Love and light, guys. Love and light. Take care.